Hello, it's Shelly. Comfortably blind. See? Comfortably blind. Anyway, today we've got, and it actually says on the top, if we can get it, a number 2 and Agfa Ansco. That might be better. Anyway, it's a box camera, and this particular one is made for, and it's Agfa's name is the PD16 film, which is 1/16, which is the 6/16. It's wider than the 120 film, but this camera I picked up from a gentleman who was retiring from shooting portraits, doing portraiture. And I ended up picking it up for $15, and it's in actually exceptionally good shape, except for that little mar right there. I've taken it apart, and to do that, all you have to do is there's these little tabs right here, pop them up, and then this front comes off, and you can clean the back side of the lenses, and you can also clean these as well while you've got it off. Now I'm trying to figure out what year this is. The best I can figure out is it's about a 1933. Ansco and Agfa merged in 1928, and it's got, I don't know if you can really see them, but it's got a bunch of 1924-ish Canadian, 23, 24 Canadian, whatever you call them. But anyway, so the best I can figure with this is it's a 1933. I have yet to find, with this kind of recessed lens and the staggering of the lenses, the aiming lenses, mostly I find them like here and here, or in line, or down the side, but I can't find with the staggered lens and this recessed photo lens. And also this is kind of embossed into the grain, where later ones I've seen with a badge around it and a badge that says Agfa Ansco. The closest I can figure is 1933, and if that's all it's got from nearly 100 years of being alive, hey, this is a survivor. But anyway, so this takes what they call 1/16, 6/16, D6 or PD16. It's a wider film, and you can see from here. This is your 120 spool, and this is your 6/16 spool, or this is probably out of 6/16 Kodak 6/16 spool, and you can kind of see how much difference there is in height. But there is a fix. You can either go to eBay and you can get things like this for about $7.99. All you'd have to look up is 6/16 to 120 adapters, film adapters. I had a friend of mine who does all my cages for my Nerf blasters, who printed these up for me, and he charged me like an extra $1 over printing up the cages for my Nerf blasters. So I got these for $1. Let's get a couple of clean ones here. Now, when you're shooting this, being that the 616, 116, whatever, this wide of film is not made anymore, you're going to have to run the 120. And when you're shooting this, there's two ways you can do this. You can either use this on the take-up wheel, use the stock 116, 616 spool on the take-up wheel to wind it, or these were made with the little grooves in them to engage on the take-up wheel. And you can run into it like this. Snap. Now, so then you can use that as your take-up wheel. And then you would take two more and you'd run it on the film. Okay, before we get to that, let's talk about this spiffy camera. It feels like the body is like a kind of a thick either cardboard or like a thin wood veneer. If you look deep down inside, you can see that block of wood that, let's see if we can catch the light. There we go. You can see the block of wood that holds the lens. Now this is most likely just a meniscus lens. I wasn't able to find any real information, and I wasn't about to tear that apart. But this part, like I said, does come off, and you can clean your sight glasses, and you can clean up back in here. This has, I'm going to set these aside for a second, give us some room. This, as far as anybody can tell, this has about a 1/60th of a second shutter speed. So setting this on a table would be a good idea. It does not have a quarter 20 fitting for a tripod, but you could probably, I keep meaning to get a piece of wood and put a threaded mount into the piece of wood to hold it to a tripod, and then put like shelf liner over the top of it that would keep this from sliding back and forth on it. That shelf liner that your wife or you use to line the shelves in your kitchen works really good for non-slip surface. Just glue it to the board and the top is quite non-slick. So that's probably, I just need to go out and find a piece of wood and do that. Especially with about a 1/60th of a shutter speed. And what it does is you have like a little rotator in here, and then the hole in the lens. Now this also, it has a second shutter speed. It's called bulb. Now you pull this lever out here, and then when you rotate the lever up or down, it will lock it open until you push the button in. And this shutter, if you like the Kodak box cameras, if you push it down, it will work the shutter, and if you pull it up, it will work the shutter. So remember to don't push it when you're taking pictures with it. Don't push down and then back up, because it will double image the picture, unless that's what you're going for. A lot of people do that, and I can't say that I don't want to. It would be cool. But so click down, click up, and with this the bulb lever, when you push it down, it locks it open. And then if you want to push it up or push it in, then it releases it, and then pull it back out. You pull it back out, and you can rotate it up, and it'll do the same thing until you push it in. Now, as far as I can figure, with what I've looked for, and I spent quite some time trying to do some research on this, it has about an f11 aperture, with the thickness of the box and the size of the hole. About an f11 aperture. I don't even want to try and figure out what the millimeter lens it would be, but it's got about an f11 aperture until you pull this out. And if you pull this out, Then it puts a smaller hole in front of it. Can you see the smaller hole? There's the normal size hole, and there's a smaller hole. Figure about an f16 on the smaller hole. So f11, f16, that's pretty much all you got. Now, also with this was designed and built around films like an ISO 50 film, ISO 75-ish, 100, probably not much more than 200, so you want to keep this at about an ISO 200 or 100. Sorry, ISO 100. So you've got your portrait lens or portrait portrait viewfinder. Let's get my fingers in it. Here is much brighter outside. So this is your portrait from here to here. And if you want landscape, you've got this one here, which comes out here. Fingers, and these are all reversed, like most all the down, looking down cameras, like the Kodak box, the little lens that was on my Vigilant, the lens that's on my Argaflex. When you're looking down, everything's backwards, so you'll be like trying to pan to get thing to come in here, and you're just actually moving it away, and or things come in here and you're moving it away. Yeah, but after a few minutes you get used to that, and it's no big deal. So, and this is your winder, and to get the box, to get this out, because this winder will mesh onto here, and you cannot rotate this backwards. It's got a one-way clutch in it, and to get this box in and out, you have to pull out and rotate until you get it out far enough that the box will go in and out. So once it's there, about there, then you pop the back off, back open, and then this comes out the back, and it's cone first. The point of the cone first, because it fits. The point of the cone fits into. Let's see if we catch it again. I don't know what I did the last time. Oh, there we go. See these grooves? The cone fits into the grooves and makes a pretty light tight setup. I will be shooting this, and maybe I'll put some felt in the grooves if need be. We'll see. I do shoot my cameras. I shot the Vigilant just the other day. I shot the 620 Brownie, not Brownie 620, the other day. I shot my the Retinet, and this will get shot as well. So now what I have done on this is, being that this is too or much wider than the film, I made a little mask to go in here. I'm hoping that that I can shorten up. I went and found Jittery Pixel, Jittery Pixel, Pixel. He had something similar. It was the D6, the Agfa, not quite this camera. It was a B, not a 2A. But he kind of set out a little what do you want to go, like map? And it's like, okay, you start at frame 2, because it's, pulls from the top, but the red dots at the bottom. So if you're at frame 2, this whole thing's covered with film. And then count, he said 15 spaces, or 15 ticks, or however he put it. So start at 2 and then count 15 ticks. And what he means by that is like most film has little on their film. The paper backing has like little marks. So like as it's showing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and when you get to 15, that would be frame 2, and then 15 more would get you to frame 3. Even though it's showing like frame 7, even though it's showing frame 7 in your red window, you should be on frame 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this, put film in this, and not mess up my mask. And I'm thinking I could probably skimp a little on that, and maybe just go 14 clicks instead of maybe I won't go this mask. 14 clicks instead of 15. And I'm thinking with the walls here and here, instead of being this wide, I should probably go get some glue. But I could just go 14 clicks instead of 15, and maybe get one more frame out of it. He's saying he can get seven frames out of a 120 roll, which in my brownie I was getting, I think I did 12. Out of my Vigilant I got 8, but he says you should be able to get 6. But we're going to see if this mask, why don't we take the mask out? We'll put it off to the side. We'll put it in the box, and we'll just go 15 clicks. That's a pretty big frame. So now we already have our wind to reel in. So we're going to take our previously prepared Ilford. All I did was tear it open because that's the biggest pain in the butt. And we will take a couple of these and maybe clean the plastic hair off and snap. And the nice thing about doing it this way on this particular camera is you don't have to sand down or clip the edge here or sand down. Just snap it on, and because it's wide open. There's nothing to get in the way. So we'll snap this in. Snap that in. Oops, that's not the way I want to go. We want to go this way because we don't bring it over this way, we bring it under. So we snap this in. Make sure it rolls well. Peel off our little paper and bring it around. We'll just tear this off and put this actually in the camera. And then why don't we take this back out, and we will do what we did last time. Actually, these are straight through, so you can just pull this little tab out, slide it through until it's fairly tight and centered, and then kind of roll this back so it rolls under, and hopefully we'll catch some, and it will stick, and it looks like it's working. Yay. Now being that I'm old and forgetful, okay, there we go. Being that I'm old and forgetful, let's make sure that everything looks copacetic. And it looks like everything looks about right. We got our line, but that can't be helped because that's an awful lot of film sticking out the front of this thing. because your wind knobs are clear up here. Your wind knobs are clear up here. Then it has to go all the way around the back and then back down. Yeah. Okay, so now we want to, when we put this back in, because this is the part that meshes with this. So we want to put it in this way. Drop it down. See if we can get this to start. You'll know when it starts because it starts to tighten up the film. Just like that, and then it starts to move. So now we close it, and then we see if we can see what we can see in the viewfinder. And this is new film. I don't really have any old just junk stuff that I can throw around. Oh, hey, there's an arrow. There's part of another arrow and some stuff. It's kind of hard to see through the camera. Well, there's one. You can kind of barely see one right there. Okay, so just like he said, let's go. Keep rotating until we find two. There's some bubbles, and those are the marks that he was talking about. So we should be coming up on two here in just a second. And why am I not rotating all of a sudden? What? Come undone. No. Here we go. Okay, it just needed to reseat. So there's two. Okay, so this thing should be ready to shoot, and I'll come back later with pictures from it. As soon as it'll probably be 3 weeks, because I have to send it in before Tuesday or before Wednesday, and today's Tuesday, and I won't be able to shoot this and get anyway, and then it takes a week because it's black and white anyway. So 15 marks from there, and we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. Don't like to beg, but like, subscribe, comment would be cool. Tell me what I can do to improve. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you later. Thank you.